So Nebula from the Guardians and Avengers film has always reminded me of the TX from the Terminator 3 film, Rise of the Machines. From the way they walk to their different facial expressions, their individual mannerisms, they even have an overexpressed robotic arm, and with both of them playing blonde-haired cyborg females with a mission to hunt down a redhead. In this video we'll explore these similarities and others, but first please like, subscribe, as we continue to show that there's no such thing as an original story, just a retelling of the sky and characters. Now keep in mind the original Nebula design was not a blonde, wasn't even a cyborg, but in fact she played a more important role in the Infinity Gauntlet series, where she actually possessed the Infinity Gauntlet at some point in the story. Now I suspect her redesign was done probably with social programming in mind, with the normalizing of cyborgs or the idea of that, who knows. But what stands out to me is that both of these characters are involved in films or stories, on the big screen at least, involving a great reset or the reset. There's also this remote control aspect that's an interesting feature where Nebula is shown that where she can be remote hacked, controlled, subdued. She can even hack machines herself or interface with them. The idea is steroided in Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, where Catherine Brewster, or Bear Star, however you look at it, is pursued by a needle-wielding Terminator who can hack or program the DNA or the mechanics of a machine and take over its programming. Now that film is also about a virus in the form of a computer, but more of that in a separate video. It encodes a reset is the overall theme of what's important and what you should know about it. The important thing about both of these characters is that they both encode the RC or remote control aspect. And RC is a character in the upcoming Transformers film, but she's also a character who was in a Transformers, the 80s cartoon movie, and she's associated with the character who's playing Mercury, and also associated with the reset. That film is about a resetting of the canon where it became Generation 2 afterwards. And then that film also encodes a redhead savior of humanity.
Another consciousness sharing her network. Another Nebula. This duplicate carries a timestamp from 9 years in the future.
The idea of using the great resets in these films includes the resetting of the age, where the idea of setting comes from the sun going down and the moon going up, a period of darkness where the moon's up. And that's before the sun rises again, or the new light, or the new age, the new clear, and the word clear meaning light. These films need Mercury to be encoded because Mercury acts as a catalyst for the big change or the metamorphosis. You see Mercury in films where there's portal jumping or time traveling, but also when the age is changing.
3, 2, 1.
Whereas you see the TX is a Terminator with an endoskeleton like the previous one, which is a play on the moon, but then it's surrounded in Mercury, where its outer layer of skin is a Mercury-based substance. And the T-1000 was a fully Mercury Terminator because that filmed encoding changing the future by preventing Judgment Day. Well, in this film, Mercury's encoded because the age has changed. This is why there's a light layer of skin on her. And then for Nebula, you see her associated with Mercury, where she has the metallic arm. She's part cyborg, which is a play on Mercury itself. But then you also see her associated in all the films that she's in with the Power Stone, the stone that's enclosed in the orb, or the Mercury orb. And you see this play of that interaction with her and then the orb, but then also directly the characters surrounding her, where she's close to Sirius the Dog Star, and then she's also close to Rhodey, which is a play on Mercury. And if you notice that Rhodey, or War Machine, his suit changed throughout the series, but it's always, when he's around, it's always a Mercurian code. And when we're first introduced to the TX, she arrives in this portal ball, which is a common Mercury thing. You think about the old wizards and their magic balls or their orbs, but the same idea is going on here when she first appears, but it's a little bit more mercurial than the other Terminators when they appear. In addition to that, behind her there is a lotus flower, it looks like, and then there's also like a Chinese mannequin. And you can see that a lot of the other mannequins melt, but the Chinese mannequin doesn't, kind of point to the current events. Last Matrix film, the Revelations, I believe, with Jada Pinkett playing this character named Niobe, or Niobe. She has almost the same kind of outfit on as these two characters. And it might seem like an indirect story because she's not a cyborg, but technically she is a cyborg because when they're connected to the Matrix. But if you notice in that film, she has almost a similar ship to Nebula and Rhodey in this scene, and Rhodey's playing Mercury, and then Morpheus, the word Morpheus is a play on Mercury. And that's a reset film. And then similarly, the character RC, who reminds me of Nebula and TX also, she's in a film with Unicron, which is a reset film, the planet-eating virus, the giant eye in the sky, and right next to her there's a character, Blur, who encodes Mercury. So consider like the constellations and planets are not necessarily places you can go to, but really bodies of influence that kind of influence things here. And you see these kind of same use of Mercury even going on in real world events where almost every big event has a mercurial tie to it. Just think about the word Floyd means gray hair, which is a play on Mercury. This current event we got going on with this balloon in the sky, the media keeps referencing greyhounds, which is a play on Mercury and Sirius Dogstar. And it's pretty much an eye in the sky, so you have the same kind of idea going on of the Great Reset continuing.
I wasn't always like this. Me either. But we work with what we got,